Hey guys, in today's video we're gonna be looking at how to measure angles. So we use this tool which is called a protractor. It is a bit confusing sometimes. I have a different one here as well. These are the more standard ones you get in the math set. This one is just, it looked cool in the shop, so I took it. But on both of these you can see that it has two rows of degree measurements. So if I look at this one, on the outside, it starts with a 0 on like the outside, and 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, all the way to 90, and all the way to 180 degrees. And then on the inside, on the opposite side, it starts with a 0 on the inside, and then goes all the way to 180 on the other side. So if you look, there's a 30 degrees here and a 30 degrees there. And the same with this one, there's maybe a 30 degrees here and a 30 degrees there. So it's sometimes confusing as to what side do we use. So the first bit of theory that you need to know is when we have a right angle. So we know a right angle has a 90-degree angle. Obviously this one isn't now, I didn't draw it perfectly, but that would be a 90-degree angle. So this would be 90 degrees. Anything smaller, any angle smaller would be an acute angle, and anything larger would be an obtuse angle. So what I usually do is when I measure, before I measure, I look at and I'm like, will this be acute or obtuse? And obviously if it's in this case, it's going to be acute. So obviously my answer has to be less than 90 degrees. So that's kind of a way that I just make sure that I'm using the right side. So let's just take a look. There's two things that I need to do to use this. It's a skill, it's not really difficult to do, but it's just something that I have to do right. So at the bottom here, you can see there's a little black line. Now that line has to go on top of this black line, well, my red line, exactly. So it has to go exactly onto that line. And the second thing that needs to happen, that where that crossing is with a 90-degree angle, and the straight line meet, there's a little, well, cross over there. That cross has to line exactly up with that corner. So I have to get this line on there, and then I have to move it so that it's exactly on that side. So there we go. So now I know this line is straight, and then that corner is in the corner. But the problem is, if I see through here, that little line doesn't go all the way through. It doesn't go all the way through, so this line is too short. So what I need to do is I actually have to extend that line, and whenever you get a question, just make sure you make it exactly straight, but you can always extend that line so that it actually goes to the little markings at the end. So on this side, let me just get it at the right angle. There we go. So I have, this is straight on there, and the corner is on the corner. And now I can read, but obviously it's an acute angle. So I'm gonna start at 0 because this is where my line is. I'm gonna start at 0. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40. And then here I can see there's like a 45, but I can't really exactly see what's going on there. So I have to go to the outside to get the finer markings. So on this side, I see there's the 45, and that's like, it's actually between, it's between the 46 and the 47, so we'll just call it 46 degrees. That's fine. Usually it can be like a little bit in or out with this. I just drew something, and now I exactly drew something in the middle, but that's what we do. So we're going to do the same thing on this side. I have to make sure that line is on this line, so I just get it straight on that line. Make sure it's straight, not like that. It has to be very straight, and then I move. This cross has to go over onto that point exactly. That looks fine. And then I'm gonna start measuring here. So I'm not gonna measure the outside because the outside is starting at 180, and I want this angle. So this angle starts at 0 here, and it goes higher. So I'm gonna start with a 0 on the inside, go all the way around. That's the 90, 110, well, 100, 110. But now the 110 and the 70, that's a line. So I have to find the exact measurement, I have to go over there. So I see there's the 70 at that point. and then it's 1, 2. So it's basically 110 plus the 2 I added there. So this would be 112 degrees. Simple.